Yeah, well, you know, they inaugurated Joe Biden today. And it was, I listened to it. I went ahead and listened to it. I didn't want to. But, and nobody else in the shop did either. They didn't want to. So I just put some earphones in and, I listened. And I wasn't even, 4 or 5 minutes in, if I recall, to the inaugural speech there that he made. And sure enough, what was white supremacy? Okay. That came out of his mouth. And then he went on about systemic racism. And, right then, I guess it was a trigger to shut certain of us off. I guess it was a trigger, just to make us not think about it anymore, Just, hey, even if you're listening, just shut off. Because to me, it is. I'm sorry, guys. I was just thinking about how I felt whenever I heard that. Right immediately, I thought to myself, well, he's just letting everybody know that's paying attention that it'll be at least 4 more years of this. Just in case you thought that. And then he went on about the horrors of COVID, and 400,000 people died. Guys, I didn't really want to make videos anymore. I really didn't. But there's something about a video that's different. It's just me. And I don't have anybody live or anything like that. I don't have to worry about a chat. So, that's how I felt. I felt like a person that got kicked in the balls. Even though I know, and we knew going in what all this was going to be. But hearing that stuff right on the day, right in the first minute of his presidency, it started off, he was reading the script, and sure enough, the script says, we've got to bring in the racism. We can't let people forget. We got to make sure that they remember the COVID and what's at stake. Excuse me. Shit like that. That's what he's going to do. That's what we knew he was going to do, but it doesn't make it any less disgusting to me, Just straight up disgusted with my country and with the people in it, and them just waiting and waiting and waiting. Me included. What was I waiting on, What do you really want? Lone gunman, tries to attack me. He's blown up by 26,000 soldiers. But that's what I'm talking about, man. So it's like the whole thing, and apathy is set in on everyone, and people are scared as hell from this disease, this COVID. See, now it's a disease. It's a scourge. And, the racism never gonna stop. And it's just, what the Listen, man. I just can't even express to you guys that we can't give up, all right? I am not just going to die here. I'm not just going to, just because I'm disgusted and sickened and all the other adjectives you could use to describe what I am and you are, today. And this whole last year, for sure. And for some of us, 5 years. And for some of us, 10 years we've been seeing it and we've known. I recall that somebody did a study on when these words started coming in. Since I started with it, we'll finish with it. These words, systemic racism and white privilege. And they did a study on all these trigger words that they're using today. And the prevalence, and it gained prevalence in 2011. These words were used maybe 3 to 5 times a year in publications throughout the year. And they did a study on this shit. And that they found that the words weren't used very often. But then in 2011, that's whenever, and what, guys, remember your Trayvon Martins and your, all these racial hoaxes and psyops started, about 10 years ago, right? Right in there. And that's whenever all of it started to come in, whenever we started hearing this in earnest. All these words. And now the president just spews them out on the Capitol steps there like it's nothing. He just swings it around like it's nothing, man. Okay? Words we hadn't yet heard. I'm sure most of you had never heard the word white privilege before, you know. And certainly I had never thought to use jogger as a code word for, you know, a hood black, you know, a jogger, a rigger. You know, it's just unbelievable that it's all come to this. That we're all attacking each other, and rightfully so in some cases, but we're all attacking each other and missing the point here that the takeover, man. This guy standing up there saying those words and using those words so freely that he learned. He learned them too. But you know, he wrote them, didn't he? Didn't he write them? Yeah. Sorry, guys, I had to pause that. But, you know, he wrote the words. And he said them. Back in the 90s, he knew. He claimed, and way before then, okay, he was in the early 70s there. He didn't want the busing of the kids, and he was throwing a fit about that, about the integration. He said, way back then, he was saying that we can't have this. We can't, I'm not even gonna, listen, Joe Biden has been a race baiter and still is to this day. I mean, even blacks will tell you, hey man, isn't this the guy that said, I think I heard some black dudes saying this in the store the other day. They were like, yeah, Joe Biden. And he was like, you're not black. And the other guy laughed at him. He's like, yeah, if you don't vote for Joe Biden. See, they know it's a mockery. I don't know. I just wanted to get out a little rant on this shit today, let off some steam. I know a lot of you guys probably did and probably did. Let off steam in your own way. And if you don't, you know, maybe you should. Because what we see is not going to stop, ever. I mean, I've been saying it's not going to stop, guys. It's not going to stop. It's not, unless we stop it. Collectively, we have to all gather up and all say, okay, no matter what it is, guys, no matter who you are, you've got to be tired of this. No matter who you are. Even the most social justice person in the world has to see. If they were rational at all, they would have to see, hey man, they're making us do masks. He's going to make it 100% mandatory, you know, for God knows how long. They said flatten the curve 15 days, and here we're still flattening the curve. And he said 100 days of masks and complete, utter, you know, taking care of business. And what is that going to turn into? Okay? 100 days, 1,000 years to these people. I mean, dude. So that's, you know, that's what I kind of wanted to talk about, was that. And I'm sorry for rambling on there, guys, but you know how I am. So anyway, just had to get that off my chest. A strange, disjointed video. You know, I needed to make one. So I did. Anyway, guys, let's not lose like I was saying though, I get sidetracked thinking about a billion things at once. I figured that was since I was thinking about this crazy shit, I figured the best time to go ahead and make a video is right in the middle of a thought. And that's how, whenever I say it's disjointed, that's just what I mean. I mean, here I am thinking about all these different things. And, you know, what do I turn it on? You know, a space shuttle explosion. The implications is what I want you guys to start seeing. You can look back on my videos and see that I say they were dual meaning. I say they were this, that, they were deeper than you think. They are. There's so many things like that in them, okay? I want you to look back on those sometimes. See them. Because there's hope in all of this. Believe it or not, I'm hopeful. I know that would be crazy for me to say, but it's true. I'm hopeful. I'm still hopeful. You know, for what? Now, that we stay alive and that we get through this, and that we don't let it bother us too much, and that if anything truly happens, they really, really, really push some crazy legislation, and we see troops in the streets or anything like that, then that's your trigger. That's when you know, okay? No more bullshit, guys. That's when you band together with people that you think probably are going to be like-minded like you, all right? Your people in your neighborhoods, your people that you know are right around you, okay? And then you talk to them and you tell them, hey, do you have family in other cities? Can we still get a hold of them? Okay, blah, blah, blah. You got to work together. If you live out in the country, you're good. Band together with your people. You know this. Just saying, you know, if worse comes to worse, which if 2020 was any indication, then 2021 is going to be ridiculous. You know, it's already proven itself to be. They didn't waste any time getting down to business. So anyway, guys, you know, just a little thought for you. Let's get it together.